delicate bead cluster earrings, you need 2 gold hoop earrings. These are about 33 millimeters across, and you'll also need 2 gold earring wires. For beads, we have some crystals that are 3 millimeters across. We chose an amber color, a peach color, and a clear crystal. And then we have a selection of different sized freshwater pearls. These are little. They're mostly 2 to 3 millimeters across. We're going to use 26 gauge wire in gold, and for tools we have round nose pliers and wire cutters. Before we get started making the earrings, I want to show you what a finished earring looks like. This is what we're going to model our earring after. This is our gold earring hoop, and instead of using it as the earring, we're using it just as a hoop, and we've attached the earring wire to the top. And then we used a piece of wire to wire a lot of these little crystals and freshwater pearls right onto the bottom of the earring hoop. So let me show you how we did that. Start with a piece of the 26 gauge wire. This piece is about maybe 10 inches long. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by making 6 wraps on the earring hoop. So I think it's nice to hold the earring hoop and the wire together in one hand with about an inch tail there, and then grab the 26 gauge wire and wrap it around 6 times. So to wrap it around, I have to go through that opening. I go through there and then I go around the earring like that, and I go around. And my hoops, my wraps don't have to be right next to each other because I can push them up next to each other. So I'm just going around and around. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. And then I can just push those together with my nails like that. Now I can start beading this wire. It makes faster work to put the beads on a few at a time. You could do it one at a time, but we thought it looked nicer and a little more clustered to put on 3 beads at a time. So I'm going to put on a freshwater pearl, very pretty little delicate pearl. I'm going to put on one of these little peach beads. These are little tiny 3 millimeter crystals. And then I'm going to put on another freshwater pearl. This is the pattern I'm going to use throughout the earring. I'm going to do a freshwater pearl and then one of our pretty little crystals and then another freshwater pearl like that. So now I can take these 3 beads and I can slide them down towards our earring. There's our earring wire. And what I want to do is wrap them around the earring hoop, just like we did with the wire, but now there's beads involved. Take that wire through the opening and wrap it around. So I've got an extra wrap here where I came around one more time, securing those beads onto that hoop. And then we're just going to repeat that. So I'm going to find another little freshwater pearl over here. There's one. And then I'm going to pick one of these more colorful amber crystals for my next bead, like that. And then let's put one more freshwater pearl. Like I said, that's going to be our pattern to put on a freshwater pearl, a crystal, and then another freshwater pearl. So there's our 3 beads. And then just like we did before, we're going to slide those down to our earring. There's our hoop again. And holding onto the wire where we already have it attached so it doesn't rotate too much, I'm going to take this wire. We're always going in the same direction around this hoop. I'm going to go down here and up around the other side. This pearl came with me. I'm going to push it back to the top. So I'm going to hold that in place and then bring that wire around one more time, just like we did before. So now we've got 6 beads on there. See how pretty that is? And it's kind of clustering just naturally. Isn't that neat? So now I'm going to pull the wire around again and feed those beads on one more time. We're going to do a freshwater pearl, and let's do one of these clear crystals and another freshwater pearl here. And just like before, we're going to slide that down to our work, to our hoop here. Hold those up against the earring wire. That's the earring hoop. And then pull that wire around. Isn't that neat? They just go together so easily like that. So then I'm just going to keep repeating, putting on a freshwater pearl, a crystal, and a freshwater pearl and wrapping until I have 6 of these little clusters, and then I'll show you how to finish the end. So I finished adding the beads to the hoop, and you're going to wind up with about 18 beads if you follow the pattern that I did. Freshwater pearl, a crystal, and a freshwater pearl with a wrap, a freshwater pearl, a crystal, a freshwater pearl with a wrap. I did that 6 times. So here's our last set of beads, and I'm going to wrap them around again. We're always going around, wrapping in the same direction. So I'm going to go around the hoop there. And then to finish the end of this, I want it to match the other side, which you'll remember we did 6 tight wraps there. But before I do that, I'm going to push these together a little bit so we get a little more clustering. I'm just mushing them together a little bit. And now I'm going to wrap that wire around 6 times, just like we did at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. And then I'm going to push those wraps together like we did before, so they match on both sides. Now we can trim that wire with the wire cutters. Just cut that little piece, and we'll want to trim the other side here, like that. And that's the cluster bead part at the bottom. You can manipulate these crystals and beads. You can push them so they're all up against the top. You can flip them around to the bottom, whatever you want. And if you want it more beaded than that, you can just do that whole layer again. But I like how delicate this looks with these 18 little beads on there. I want to center it at the bottom of this hoop. This will be the top. So I want these to be opposite each other, kind of a mirror effect. You just slide this over a little bit. And now to turn this into an earring, normally you'd wear this as an earring. You slide this into your ear and then latch it like that. It would hang front to back. You can wear them like that if you want, but we wanted a more dangly hoop look. So we're going to use the round nose pliers for this. We're going to make more of a complete loop out of this open side. I'm grabbing that with the round nose pliers, and I'm just rotating the pliers to make that kind of a hook shape. And I want to hook it into this loop that's already there, but I'll need to open this loop up a little bit to make room for it. So I'm going to use the round nose pliers for that also, and just sort of crank that open a little bit. I'm just rotating. Now these two will fit together. Nice and easy like that. And now we want to close both of those loops. So again, I'm going to use the round nose pliers, and I'm going to rotate to close that loop. And I'm going to look at the same activity on the other side, grab that end and rotate it. So now we've got 2 closed loops, and you'll see that this one at the top is just perfect for our earring wire. We'll need to open the little loop at the top of the earring wire here, and then slide the earring wire into this loop at the top, like that, and then use the round nose pliers to close that part of the earring wire. So now it's got some movement. That's why we wanted to put it on an earring hoop like that. And here's our match, and those are our beautiful delicate bead cluster earrings.